Welcome to the Average Nobody's Podcast, the ultimate home for wrestling enthusiasts, beer drinkers, movie quoters, and pop culture connoisseurs. Here are your hosts, Matt and Ryan.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Average Nobody's Podcast. My name is Ryan Fogarty.
I'm Matt Vieira.
And welcome to episode 32. 32. We've come a long way from what it used to be. And now we're all the way up here at episode 32, which is pretty awesome.
It is, because I feel like we did.
It was like it went through a bunch of phases,
maybe.
Yeah,
and missed a lot, and then.
Yeah, we're still hoping to get the video going for this, but we had a hiccup this week. We have to shoot in a different location, so and then we have co-hosts with us.
We have
Chase,
fans in the audience. They don't speak English.
Bubble.
They only bark.
Yes,
so
they're humans, though. We assure you,
they are. That's just how they communicate to us. So I think that was a positive bark?
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's been going on in your world the past week?
Not too much. I mean, there was I have to get into the people watching, I think, because the liquor store near my house.
I love this. I love starting off with this.
Yeah, I think it's the best starter you can have for a podcast. But the liquor store near my house is a oddly insane liquor store. So it's owned by this guy. His name's Damon.
Okay.
And it's the name of the liquor store is Damon's Wine and Spirits. And his mother and his aunt, it's these two ladies in their 70s, are the main woman who work at the cash register.
Okay.
So they have like kids in high school who will like stock the shelves, blah, blah, blah. But these two crazy old ladies are the ones who work the cash register, and they're just insane. They're just out of their minds. So the other day I was in there, and the guy in front of me must have been like one of Damon's friends or something. Because it was the aunt. So one has blonde hair, one has dark hair. So it was the aunt. She has dark hair. She's crazier. She's just batshit insane, absolutely insane. So she was ringing someone out, and she's like, "Oh hey," I forgot the kid's name for this story. His name's Joey. Okay. She's like, "Hey Joey, hey how are you?" He's like, "Oh hey, how you doing?" Like clearly just wanted to get his booze and get out of there.
Yeah.
She's like, "So how's everything going?" He's like, "Oh good." And of course, classic old lady. What is she going to? So you got a girlfriend? It's like, you literally, I'm just here to buy booze. He's like, no. She's like, no. How old are you now? You don't have a girlfriend? He's like, yeah, sorry, I just don't have one. And she keeps prodding him. And I'm like, oh my God, I can feel for this poor guy. And he finally, after 5 minutes, meanwhile, I'm behind him in line.
You just want to.
So normally I'd be upset, but I'm like, you know what? This is actually like, I feel like I'm being entertained here while I wait. So finally, the poor guy checks out. I'm like, oh.
I thought the story could have gone two ways, and it went the second way. Okay. Because the first way I thought it was going to be is like, you know how like when you ask someone like, hey, how you doing? And then they just all of a sudden they open up to you.
Yes.
And like you're like, listen, I was just looking for it. Yeah, I'm good. Things are great. That's all I was looking for. It's like a pleasantry.
I have an uncle.
But then
like
when
that.
they just like they really open up to you and you're like, oh listen, like this is not what I asked for. I just wanted to just know how you're doing. Just say okay, even if it's terrible, just say it's okay. My
dad has a saying for one of his brothers. He's like, "You got a half hour?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Ask Uncle how he's doing," because then that's it. It's over. So I definitely know people like that. But yeah, this was that in just a more warped, very awkward type.
Yeah,
of way.
you gotta stop prodding people about that.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, it's not really your place to be.
Yeah, he clearly vaguely knows this woman. Yeah. Like maybe she saw him, or like him and the owner of the liquor store went to middle school together. But it's not. Is it the time?
Also, I love how like older people like with that kind. So like she's probably married. I'm assuming or she was married at some point, right? And so they just automatically assume like age correlates with. You should have a girlfriend right now. Like what time? How old are you? You're 18. Okay, you should like have a semi-serious relationship right now. Like, you get engaged by this time. Like
then you have a kid, and God forbid you switch up the order.
Yeah, I know. It just can't happen.
It's over.
So, that's that liquor store. I feel like only churns out crazy stories.
I've been in there more times where something crazy's happened than I've been in there and just walked out and be like, all right. It's to the point now where like if I go in there and something crazy doesn't happen. I'm a little upset.
A little disappointed.
Yeah, I'm like, kind of.
It might be liquor stores because the one near my house too, Delta, is also crazy too. Like for a lot of different reasons. But what were you gonna say?
The last time I was in there, so where I live, I live right near the field, like in northern Rhode Island, so there's a lot of ticks. So when I was waiting in line, I was just looking like on my shirt.
In Delta or
in Delta.
Okay.
So I was just like looking at my shirt in line because they crawl, like they'll crawl on you. And, you know, having a dog, they can be anywhere. So I'm looking, and then the woman in line peeks in behind me, and she goes, "Caterpillars?"
When was this? When did you say
A couple of weeks ago. I thought I told you.
Well, Owen, that's weird because all I've been seeing online is like people complaining about caterpillars. Is there like a caterpillar epidemic right now?
Apparently, they're everywhere.
I haven't seen
them. I saw something on Facebook where it was like a Dave's Marketplace in East Greenwich where like they covered an entire telephone pole. Apparently, I mean, I see them in the woods, but nothing to the extent of
watching you
like they're taking over.
Binoculars.
Yeah, it's like all right, now we move in.
Walk away real smug.
Definitely a bed bug.
Yeah, that's all I heard is people. That's hilarious. That's another funny thing too. Is like people that think they can just lean in and just like.
Also,
like
what an
inject
assumption
themselves.
To make.
Yeah.
He has to be looking at caterpillars. It's like, I was like, no, ticks.
No, not
and she
close.
just was like, didn't even. I could have said like, no, nuclear holocaust, and she was just like, didn't even listen to what I said, and she's like, the caterpillars are bad this year. I'm like, all right, you clearly needed you needed to tell someone about the caterpillars.
Yeah, you needed to tell her.
Yeah.
I had a similar, I mean, not really similar, but just like a people watching experience. I went to last weekend on Mother's Day, actually. My parents are redoing their basement, and they wanted to put some shelves. So obviously, the number one spot to go for furniture that you have to painstakingly build yourself is IKEA. And I don't think I've ever been inside in IKEA. I'm trying to think. Like I think like vaguely I remember being in one, but I don't really remember anything.
Maybe you've tried to suppress it.
Yeah, probably. It's probably PTSD, honestly. So I went into this IKEA, but of course my dad is like, it's not just we go in, like we walk through the showroom and we go to the thing. Like we had to cut through the back, which honestly I thought it would be easy. Like I understood where he was coming from. Like I thought it would just be easy. We go in through the back. We know exactly what we want, so we'll just go right to where everything is and get it off the shelf. We don't need to see it set up. We've seen it set up.
Right.
So, but like they don't like. There's no areas for you to walk through. I thought it would be easy for us, and we asked the guy, and he's like, wherever you can fit through. There's no like area to crawl through, so we had to like shove by people in line, like because they have like these doors that shut. But anyway, So we get through, and we can't figure out where. At first, we can't figure out where the shelving unit is that we want, and so we go up to the computer, and we're typing in the computer. We find it. But then I see this kid. He's just laying face down on the concrete floor. Like he's probably like, I'm terrible with kids' age, but I would say he's anywhere from 3 to 13 years old.
Okay, that's a huge
as you
gap.
can tell, I'm very
3
bad.
is very small.
I'm very bad with children's age.
Yeah.
Could have been big for 3. Anyway, so he's just laying face down on the floor and really not moving that much. And he's like inside this like it's really funny this like setup where it's like an outdoor like patio scene. So he's just like face down. And I'm like, is this kid all right? And I wasn't going to do anything because that's not my place.
No.
I'm not going to lean in and ask him if he's looking at caterpillars.
Right. Just, you let him be.
But then his mother, like, comes over, I assume is his mother, and, like, just throws a pillow at him, like, from an IKEA, like, they were buying. And,
so
like,
this has happened before.
Yeah, so the kid was just, like, complaining and laying on the ground. I don't know what he was doing. But it was a wild place. It was every man for himself in IKEA. It was a sight. And it was Sunday night, like, 15 minutes before they were going to close, on Mother's Day. And it was packed in there. And people were in line getting food. Like, apparently, the big thing at IKEA is their food.
Does that strike you as an odd time for someone to go to IKEA? Like, I would think that would be the most foolproof time to go, and it's not busy.
Yeah. No.
Right?
Yeah. No, it's...
right before closing on Mother's Day, I don't
packed.
think there's a time where it's not packed. I've been once, and we're currently sitting on chairs that I made. So if you hear a thump, it's because I've fallen. And I built this chair horribly. But it's a zoo. So it's not surprising to hear that someone was...
And my IKEA experience isn't over yet because after this, I have to go help put these shelves together.
So you did step 1.
Not done yet. I'm not out of the woods yet. Although there's something, I think there's something in the air at IKEA now because I want to go back. Like I want to go back. So.
See, the thing that really turned me off about there was the parking.
It's why it's a crazy.
I didn't mind it so much inside because I'm like, you know what? I know it's gonna be crazy. I've heard the stories. The parking was so frustrating that I'm like, I never want to go back here. I hate parking garages to begin with.
Yeah,
I won't go to Province Place Mall.
Yeah. Oh, Province Place Mall parking garage is the worst parking garage on the face of the earth. They thought they made it better. I don't know if you've been in there recently. I go in there semi-often
for work.
It's the worst. They thought they made it better. All they did was paint colors. They made each floor a different color. It doesn't help me. It doesn't help at all. All they do is put these Jersey barriers. People still don't know what side of the road to drive on. No one follows any of the directions. The only thing that made it a little bit easier to park in there was they added these little lights that tell you where there's an open spot. but 99% of the time they're not working. It'll say it'll be green and there's no spots, or it's a handicap spot. It's like this is not helpful. So no, that parking garage sucks.
It does. So I'm kind of excited for this next topic because I think we bonded earlier today about it.
I don't know what it is. I think it might be, and obviously I'm not gonna say old age and make
it might be the pollen.
I could be the pollen. I don't
Pollen's
know.
high this
but
time.
These I went to go see last week. I went to go see, or 2 weeks ago almost now. I went to go see Guardians of the Galaxy, and two of the trailers. One of them was Wonder Woman, and one of them was Star Wars. I had a reaction during the Wonder Woman one, and also the Star Wars one as well. But the Wonder Woman one specifically, just like, I don't know if it was like the music and like the visuals, and it was just a very powerful. I hope the movie's like this, because I almost thought like I was on the verge of tearing up. Like, it was a very close cry, and I was like, "What is happening? Like, why is this happening?" And I thought it was just like, maybe I was just like really excited to see Guardians, and I was just like in the mood to like be. To like kind of like
immerse yourself,
immerse myself and like suspend reality, and so I was just like very into seeing that. But then a week later, I took my mom. She wanted to see King Arthur. I get in the theater. Wonder Woman trailer comes on again, and I start crying again. I was like, I don't know why this is happening. This is never like I've felt emotion in movies before, like some movies that like really hit home. They like have like the really good emotion, like the end of Good Will Hunting. Yeah. Always gets me.
It does.
But I don't think I've ever cried at a trailer. So,
see, I haven't seen the Wonder Woman trailer, so I can't necessarily relate to that specifically, but I have seen the scene of Schmidt and Cece getting married on New Girl literally over the past month 15 times.
Yeah.
And that's not from me rewatching the scene. I've rewatched the entire series so many times. It keeps coming up. Yeah. And every time they play this song, I actually just got it on Spotify. It's this beautiful song. And with like them giving their vows and stuff, it's like I find myself tearing up more for fictional things like movies and television shows than actual things that happen in my life. Like someone could be like, "Hey, your grandfather got hit by a car," and I'm like, well, he had a good run.
Is he all right?
Yeah. And then it's like, "Hey, Nick and Jess got together on New Girl." I'm like, "Are you serious? This is such a beautiful moment."
I think it's our. And I don't think it works for everybody, but I think it's like I was saying, like when I went to the movies, I think it's our ability to want to suspend reality and like get lost in the world, which honestly for the creators, they love people like us because this is what they make it for. They want people to believe that all these people are friends and that Nick and Cece were Schmidt and Cece were meant to be together. Right. So in like when it happens, you obviously like, it's an emotional moment and they want it to be. And I think the same reason, I don't know if they want people crying at their trailers, but that's just what's happening.
Well, whether they want to or not, it's happening.
And I understood the Star Wars.
I'm gonna have to watch the Wonder Woman trailer.
I don't even know. The thing is, I've watched it at home. I don't know if it's that. I think it's just being in the theater, man.
Yeah,
there's something about being in the theater that just gets me, and I will never understand people that don't get like the theater going experience. Like it's starting with getting the ticket ripped, starting with that, then getting like your popcorn or soda, whatever. Going, sit down, picking your seat. Like, there's just something magical to every bit of it. And then it's like that there's nothing you can't replicate. There's like very few things I'll say that can replicate the anticipation, like waiting for the trailers to start when you really want to see a movie. Like when you've been waiting for this, like when I see Alien tomorrow night, hopefully if I see it tomorrow night, I will be like, if I know I'll get there early because I want to get tickets, and I will be super anticipated to super excited to see it. So
yeah, the last time I think I felt like that in a theater was probably Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah,
the final Dark Knight. I just remember being in IMAX. I think we saw it together.
Because we have that.
And just like watching the trailers come on, and I'm getting goosebumps. Like it could have been literally just like a trailer of like an old man sitting in a wheelchair, and I would have been like,
getting excited. You're like ready.
And that, like you said, I think that's when you have like the tippity top of the entertainment industry, and they're trying to find directors and writers and actors and producers and everything to make movies. Those are the type of people you want in there, because not only are you going to see it. I mean, I know you are a frequent viewer of movies in theaters, but like, and I feel the same way. I mean, you go to a movie and you just kind of want to, and turning your brain off is not the right term. I just have that in my head because I've been told it so many times from work. Yeah. That people go on a tour and they want to turn their brain off.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
But like, I don't want to turn my brain off, but I want to be in this universe.
You want to plug yourself in.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's why wrestling is kind of the same way. Like they call it the WWE universe.
Yeah.
You, for 3 hours on a Monday or an hour on a Wednesday, want to go into that universe and just like be a fan.
Yeah.
They do it better than anybody else.
It's the same people. The same people that don't understand the movie going experience and like wanting to be plugged into that are the same people that are like, "Why do you watch that? It's fake." That's not even close to what.
I know.
That's not even close to what the argument or the opinion should be about this. Like that has nothing to do with it, whether it's fake or not. Like don't treat me like an idiot.
Right.
Like
I'm not a baby, and I'm also not an idiot.
That's also the farthest thing from why I watch WWE and why I go to the movies. Yeah. It's like, you don't think I know a raccoon can't fire a machine gun and fly a spaceship? Like, are you dense? Like, obviously, I just like going to see it. Exactly. And for the people that are like, oh, movies are so expensive, I'm like, you waste money on worse shit than going to see Alien Covenant. You know what I mean? On opening night. So it's just, and so I don't know. The trailers were awesome, and the Star Wars trailer, like. Star Wars carries a lot of weight for me because obviously like I watched it a lot like with my dad when I was a kid, and it was just like it's the first movies I remember like hammering at home, like having it on VHS and watching them 1.5 million times. So it carries a lot of weight, obviously, with a lot of other people as well. So I don't know, just got really emotional, and I was like, and it started and immediately when the trailers came out, I was with my mom and my brother, like it started happening, and I was just like, it's happening again, like it's happening again, like you get that welling up sensation in your throat.
I know.
And, like,
yep. And you're just like, God, not in public, like not here.
Yeah, so it was good. But those two trailers are fantastic, and I can't wait for those movies to come out. So
it's gonna be a big summer, a good summer.
It's gonna be a really good summer especially for it's gonna be a big year for Hollywood.
Yeah,
it's gonna be huge, really big for Hollywood.
Yes,
for Hollywood and for Hollywood, Los Angeles, like the
town
the
and the human being. Yes,
big year. Yeah, so. Speaking of Hollywood, ABC is ordering and that's the smoothest transition that we've ever done.
That was pretty.
Doing what we do.
Sometimes it works.
ABC's renewing the revival, or they're ordering a renewal of Roseanne.
Yes.
Were you a Roseanne guy?
I wasn't. I don't think
we were on the tail end of it too. I don't think we were really like.
It was one of those things where like we were just off the cusp of it, and
but you're familiar.
I'm familiar, and I mean, geez, I'll watch John Goodman do anything.
Sure, so. Of course. And I think Roseanne's hilarious.
I do too.
I think she's really funny, and the reruns that I've seen of Roseanne are great. And actually, I always forget his name. He's on Big Bang Theory now. John, I think, is his first name. He's not Sheldon. He's the other main character.
Johnny Galecki?
Yes, Johnny Galecki. He was in Roseanne.
Was he?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
good for him. Wow. So he's been in TV forever.
I was just gonna say because he was also when he was a kid he was in something else. Shoot, maybe it wasn't TV, maybe it was a movie. But anyway, so yeah, Johnny Galecki. So it got to me thinking, like, people who loved Roseanne are super excited for this. I've seen online, like, people are so excited to see like Roseanne, and it's not going to be Roseanne. It's going to be different characters. I'm sure
it's like Fuller House.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so it would be interesting to see like what else is Johnny Galecki? Oh, that's right. He's in Christmas Vacation. He's the kid from Christmas. He's Rusty. So
what a career!
Yeah, what
a sneaky undercover career.
Yeah, he's had a good career, and he's killing it in Big Bang Theory. Hancock, who's he in Hancock?
It's one of his four.
He was Will Smith's stunt double.
Yeah, he was Will Smith.
Yeah. So it got to me thinking. I was like, okay, so Roseanne doesn't really hit home for us, but is there any sitcoms from like our childhood or even now like that we would like to see like how they're doing Young Sheldon for Big Bang? I'm not a Big Bang Theory. I like it, but I'm not a fan. Right. But people who are fans of it are really excited for it. But what would be your spinoff or like remake?
See, it's tough because my go-to would be Boy Meets World.
Yeah, and they kind of already did that. Yeah,
and they did it in the best way possible. Where, like, you can't just remake the show.
Yeah,
like you can't just be like, oh, here's season 7 or 8 of Boy Meets World.
Yeah,
you'd have to do it as Girl Meets World, where now Corey is the teacher instead of Mr. Feeney. But then you can have like Eric and Sean and Mr. Feeney and the parents come in. So that would always be my go-to. I actually watched Girl Meets World a little bit.
I've watched.
It was funny.
I watched at least most of the first season.
It's obviously not geared towards us now.
No.
So I mean, now
I think their first mistake was it wasn't on Netflix.
Yeah.
Fuller House is killing it.
I know. I mean, and really, like, Justine and Jess love it. But
Girl Meets World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to watch it on the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Like if you just throw it up for one season at a time and say binge it, yeah, I would binge it. I mean, I could watch that in like a work day if I work from home. I'm trying to think of what, because it would have to be like a sitcom. Like, you can't just be like The Sopranos.
Yeah, no,
you can't.
It would have to be like
something lighthearted. Yeah.
Like a Seinfeld, like I'm trying to think what else. Like a Seinfeld, like a Cosby Show, like whatever, like that type of show.
Yeah, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is a good one. That was one that I was
with like Will as
like an Uncle Phil character.
Yeah, as Uncle Phil.
Yeah, I think he would do great with that. You know what? Too,
and that could kind of restore his. Not his image, but like he's.
I know.
But
call it how you see it.
Yeah, well, because I mean, right now he's just this like isolated man in Hollywood who, he's got hundreds of millions of dollars, but everything he's attaching himself to are these movies where he has creative control and he's writing the character. And instead of letting the creative people do what they do, he's trying to dictate it. Whereas, hey, you come back in the role that made you famous. Yeah. Outside being a rapper. Parents just don't understand. But I mean, I think that would be. I would watch it. You tell me you don't want Alfonso Ribeiro back as Carlton.
And he would absolutely.
Oh my God! Drop of a hat. He's been waiting. He's been sitting on the sofa waiting. Yeah, with the phone. When they call for Dancing in the Stars, he must have been furious.
He would do it in a second. When they had that, they just did a reunion recently. Yeah, with Viv and. Right? No,
Uncle Phil's dead, but
Uncle Phil, he wasn't there.
Yeah, but
also like the
CGI him.
And there was a problem too. Like, wasn't there a problem with like the real Aunt Viv? It was like the one who got replaced. Like she was very pissed off that she wasn't. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, I think you're right. And like, his talking about his like. One having creative control over these movies. It's what ruined Suicide Squad. It's one of the reasons why Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it.
It's one of the because.
But I heard it was like heavily rewritten for him to.
Yeah, and you could tell his character is very heavily like, and I would understand like Harley Quinn is one of the focal points of the movie because she has the connection with the Joker, who is obviously when you talk about Batman movies and DC movies like that, you want the Joker to be heavily like featured. But she's getting her own movie next. Harley Quinn's getting her own movie, so that makes sense. Deadshot, Will Smith, is not getting his own movie anytime soon. So it's like, why feature him? Like, what are you going to sprinkle him in another movie? I don't know. But anyway, I don't want to get too far off the sitcom thing. But I think Fresh Prince, I think that would be awesome. And he would kill the role. And it would give him an opportunity to get his kids involved.
Yeah.
How about his kids playing his actual kids? Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely not. Because, I mean, I'm just looking at his IMDb right now. You have Collateral Beauty.
That was
like the really philosophical one.
Yeah.
And then Suicide Squad, Concussion, Focus.
Tell the Truth.
Winter's Tale, Anchorman 2, very tiny part. After Earth, Men in Black 3, 7 Pounds, Hancock. I mean.
Yeah. He hasn't.
From what he started as?
Yeah, I know. Like, yeah. But anyway, that would be cool. I think Fresh Prince would be a cool one to bring back. Another one that I had thought of, and it's so tough to like just want to bring these shows back, but I loved Everybody Loves Raymond. I love everybody, but it's like, how do you replicate Everybody Loves Raymond? Because Raymond is the character. It's like, you can't replace Raymond.
No.
But like how we're talking about that, Raymond could be because I think the dad and not the mom, but the dad is dead.
I think the mom's dead too.
The mom is dead too. Yeah. Really? The lady from Grandma's Boy and everything?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's so sad. Yeah. But anyway, you got Raymond and you got Deborah. They could play the grandmother's part, and their kid. You can do like the whole thing with their kids and everything. Another sitcom that I think didn't get its day was According to Jim. Did you ever watch that?
Here and there.
Jim Belushi is a funny guy.
Yeah,
it was a really funny show. It was such a classic, like, oh, the mother-in-laws are coming over this weekend for dinner, like, like that type of sitcom. Like,
that's why I like Last Man Standing, which is basically
that's the one with Tim Allen.
Yeah, it didn't get renewed, but that's as close to a Home Improvement spinoff as you can get.
Oh, that's right. I did watch it a few times. Yeah, that's right.
It's pretty funny.
Even the house looks exactly the same.
It does. Yeah. It's the same like camera angles. Yeah. Except for it's 3 girls now instead of 3 boys.
It's so tough for sitcoms like that to survive. There's only a few sitcoms. Think about the sitcoms that rule TV right now. Yeah. New Girl. Yeah. Right. I get
it is. No. Yeah. Well, yeah.
New Girl, Modern Family. The Middle got canceled, so that's not even a thing anymore. But like
Blackish, things like that.
The Millers,
yep,
and Big Bang Theory.
Yeah,
the only one that's like a traditional sitcom is Big Bang Theory. It's the 3 locations, the comic book shop, the 2 apartments, and they have like a few camera angles. Yeah. There's no other sitcoms. Like think about like Modern Family's totally hybrid. like hybrid show sitcom.
Did you watch the season finale on Wednesday? Yeah, last night.
I was just watching some new ones.
It was like it was Manny and Luke's graduation.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
But it's everywhere. They're all over the place.
Yeah, and it's like filmed with hand cams. It's more like The Office than it is like
It's not like there's no stage.
Exactly.
There's no laugh track.
So it's so tough. So I'm curious to see what's gonna happen with Roseanne. Like I'll probably check it out. Like I'm not the audience for the Roseanne revival, but I would be for Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
I definitely would be for And According to Jim, which I don't know how you do that, but Everybody Loves Raymond is just such a classic.
It is. I'm a big fan of that. And the good thing is you can, even if they don't come back, at least, According to Jim isn't on Netflix, is it? Not that I know of.
I don't know. I don't think it's anywhere.
They've just erased it from history.
Seriously. It's like you gotta be so lucky to get into a place where like Big Bang Theory and Modern Family are. Like Modern Family's already in syndication. The show's not even over
So Modern Family on USA.
It's like,
how does that happen?
Before
there was never like that.
No.
Like you were live and then that was it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is before DVRs too. Like if you didn't catch it live, you didn't watch the show.
No. Yeah.
So that's what, and people want the ratings aren't the same. Oh, really?
Yeah.
You can watch it wherever you want.
That's why
it's not an event anymore.
I'm so surprised there's not more shows that just go and they release their whole season on Netflix, on Hulu. It's worked for a lot of different things, and not to mention if you have an idea and you go to Netflix and talk, like you pitch to Netflix, like you gotta really want to have your stuff on Netflix. Like I feel like also, and I don't know this for sure, but there's got to be so many more hurdles going to ABC rather than going to Netflix.
Oh, absolutely.
Think about. You got to worry about time slots. You got to worry about red tape. You got to worry about who you're offending, like not offending, but like their advertisers. I'm sure there's some things with like if you go to ABC with an idea and you pitch an idea to ABC, they're gonna be like, "Hey, listen, your show's great, but we advertise this car company at this time, and you want to talk about having a show where people drive around go-karts. Like that's not gonna work because we can't put a Ford in there." Like,
and I feel like they're more hesitant to if you want to make your show a little heavier.
Yeah.
You know,
definitely.
with deeper topics,
Definitely.
It's like, no, that's going to annoy our sponsors.
Yeah.
But Netflix, it's like, dude, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And Netflix, obviously, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, they're obviously not shy about throwing around money.
Nope, they are not. They have money.
Which is good for them. You know what? Good for them because you're getting the most talented people.
Yep.
Money doesn't always equal talent, but in this case, at least from what I've seen with what they've developed for original series, original movies, you have the War Machine movie with Brad Pitt coming out next week.
And The Irishman, with, the Martin Scorsese movie that's coming out on Netflix, with literally everybody that Martin Scorsese has ever worked with. So it's good. It's competition like this is good because it's either these networks are going to have to adjust or die. Yeah. That's it. You're gonna have to either adjust or die, and I like that. Like I think
too.
I think that's good for us. So I just want, before we get into TV Club, I just want to touch on something quick. What do you think about the male romper thing that's going on Twitter and like this whole? It's a thing now. Like it's a new fashion thing for like men.
And I saw it because my Twitter feed is Average Nobodies. I don't have my own personal Twitter feed. Yeah. So following Feidelberg on Twitter,
he's all for it.
He's retweeting, which is fine because he's trying to push it. He's retweeting 50 to 60 people a day, even people who aren't tweeting at him. Just he must search Rompers and just retweet stuff. Yeah. I've seen him. I like him.
Do you like him?
I do like him.
Okay.
I just don't. I can't picture a scenario where one, Hollywood let me wear it, and two, where am I going to wear it? I don't. It doesn't seem more comfortable than like basketball shorts around the house. I cannot wear them out.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. I mean, I think they need to be worn out. That's the whole thing.
Because I saw the picture I saw was like a group of like 10 guys all wearing them, like sharing a laugh and a drink. I'm like, where are these people?
Where do these people? No, that's the thing too. Like you look at ads like that and people on YouTube and Snapchat and Facebook and Instagram, and they're like all these like they call them social influencers. Like all these people that they hired to wear rompers to make them the next cool thing, which they're doing. Like where all these people actually hang out? Like this is not real life.
No, I'm gonna go to Hot Club in a romper.
No, you're not. You're absolutely not.
But I'll tell you what. I'm gonna. Actually, well, I want to get your take on it. Then I'm going to suggest something that I know you're going to be on board with that I think should take the place of rompers as far as how heavily mentioned they are in society. But go ahead. So my take on this romper thing, I'm totally against the male romper. I think that in theory, it's a good idea because I like overall. Not overalls. I like coveralls. Like when you're like you have to go work and do something dirty, like you put on that huge jumpsuit, that canvas jumpsuit. It makes sense. It's pants, it's a shirt all in one. Like this is shorts and a shirt all in one. There's no good place to wear it. It's just not
it's not a flattering look if you're not the right person to wear it. Like, those people were ideal. Also, I'm gonna go on a limb here. I don't think the female romper is the best look.
No, it's odd.
They said this, and this is not. I mean, this is the thought I had in my head way before this. But on the Barstool Rundown the other day, they talked about the female romper. It's baggy in the wrong places. It's tight in the wrong places. It's very unflattering unless you, like I said, you have the body that's ideal for a romper, which I don't even know what that is. But it's just not ideal.
It's shaped like a puzzle piece.
I have like these milky cream cheese thighs with a lot of hair on them. It's not gonna look great in a male romper.
That's the thing. I don't know if I want to wear something that short.
No, and nothing will ever beat sandals or really comfortable sneakers, basketball shorts, and a t-shirt.
No,
I don't care how comfortable something is. Nothing will beat the comfort of what I just said.
That's what I'm wearing.
In the wintertime, same thing. Sandals are comfortable sneakers, sweatpants, sweatshirt. Boom. Nothing will ever beat that. So
yeah, nice and simple.
Yeah. Why can't that be the next trend?
I don't know. Like, why? I wish that would just become. I guess maybe it's like with the unspoken popular thing, but I feel like it should be. It should be mentioned more. But my thing would be, I would rather have overalls. I would rather have overalls into this conversation where look, I actually am very in favor of wearing overalls to work. I'm gonna try to pull it off.
Okay.
Not over the summer. It's getting too hot.
It's hot, yeah.
But I mean, I got my Old Navy card. I think I'm gonna, find a good deal on some overalls.
Nice.
If I get them dark enough and they say something, boom, I unstrap the tops. All of a sudden, I'm wearing jeans. You
know how I feel about overalls.
I do.
Big fan. Also, I think there's. So listen, this is gonna sound crazy, but I think that there's room in fashion for shorts that are overalls before rompers, and they're very similar, but they're not. Like, picture it's jorts, but it's the overall top.
Okay.
See, like with a romper, you have the whole shirt and everything. I'm just saying.
See, my issue with the romper is the length of them.
They're too short?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
think it should go to the knee.
Also, I think this summer I'm going to try and bring back cutoffs.
Okay.
Like, not really short ones, but like Pat McAfee wears a mean jean short.
Frayed?
Yeah, like not even frayed. I mean, just like something like around the knee, like, a little bit frayed maybe. I don't know.
John Cena does it.
I hope Lindy's not listening to this. So
definitely not live.
So
maybe you can edit it in post-production and just like substitute
slacks.
A word. Yeah. Slacks. I'm going to wear slacks.
Khaki pants.
It kind of sounds robotic.
So I'm gonna bring back cutoffs this summer, I think, and I'm also gonna wear my overalls, obviously, when it's not super hot, because that's just.
I think if we do it together, there's no force on earth that can stop us.
I agree. So, and I discovered the power of the jean jacket over the wintertime, so
which is just only getting stronger, in my opinion.
I hate that these last couple of days it's been so hot that I woken up and like want to wear it so bad.
So
I'm just like, I know myself, like I can't wear this, like it's too hot.
Yeah, because then you're kind of torturing yourself at that point.
Yeah. Well, fashion aside, I guess we can kind of roll this right into fashion or whatever, but TV Club. Let's talk about American Gods. So we're all caught up on American Gods, the 3 episodes so far that they've had. Hold on. So they release it earlier if you stream Stars, they release it earlier on a Monday than if you're actually watching it on like that night.
Really?
Because I turned it on after work on Monday. And I went on my Apple TV and I went in Stars just to see like if there was anything like because I wasn't sure what time it aired, so I wanted to see what time I would pop in there, and it was like new episode of American Gods, and I'm like it's like 5:00, like it's comes on at 9:30 at 8:30, so I was like, all right, well, so I watched it, but
I watched it today.
All right, you watched it today?
Well, so if you have Amazon Prime, Stars like comes with it or something.
Oh, really?
Well, I thought it came with it, so I started a free 7-day trial with Stars.
Oh, nice. Nice.
But I can watch it on the Super Chillin' website, which is what I watched the first 2 episodes. But I was like, I'll do it through Amazon. And I watched the 3rd episode today. It is a bonkers show.
It's all over the
place. And I can't get enough.
So all right. So let's just, for people that are not watching out there that want to like watch, we're going to spoil some things here.
Yeah.
So Shadow Moon. So I'm actually kind of talking this out with you because I'm just trying to make sense of it too. So
I think that's the best way to watch
Shadow Moon gets out of prison.
Yes.
His wife's dead.
Yep.
She died sucking Shadow Moon's best friend's dick.
Yep.
Tragic.
Literally died with his dick in his mouth.
Really got
graphic detached
scene
from
the
Yep. Not ideal.
And so now he gets hired by Ian McShane, who is Mr. Wednesday.
Yep.
And he's basically just his, not errand boy, but his like kind of like bodyguard.
He calls him his bodyguard.
Yeah. So,
literally, though. But he takes the term very literally.
And so they're going around meeting these gods, right? All these people they're meeting are different.
Yeah.
Is it me, or is there like there's a certain shadow over these people? Like you know who they are, like you know their name, you know what they do, but you're not exactly sure. Like I still don't think we know who Ian McShane's character actually is. He's the con man. He's Mr. Wednesday, but we don't know who he is.
Because I feel like all these people, like him, Mad Sweeney, the three sisters, the cow killer who smokes all the cigarettes.
Damn, what's his name? It's like Church. It's like it was a very
Russian. He's the Russian guy from Armageddon.
Yeah. I'll always remember from Armageddon.
Even like the black woman who eats people with her vagina.
Yep, that's a strange
subplot.
Thing. That's strange too.
But I think so. Shadow Moon got engulfed in this world with these gods living amongst everyone else.
Yeah,
and I kind of like it because every episode it says somewhere in America.
Yeah. So
it's not specific to one location. So you can't just be like, oh, that's not like New York. That's not like Chicago. It's like, no, you don't know where it is.
Yeah.
It's this fictional universe, technically, but there's gods existing among men and women.
And not only just gods in general, but also there's a struggle between the new and the old gods.
Yes.
There's like the media and the technology kid that like smokes
in the limousine. Yeah. Smokes lizards or whatever.
Yeah, smokes lizards. And then you have like the old gods who are the guy that kills cows and the three sisters. And anyway.
Who one of the three sisters is one of the characters from Baskets.
Which?
The middle one. The short one with the glasses.
Okay.
So not the one on the roof, not the old one.
Yeah.
She doesn't talk, but
okay.
She's very funny.
Okay.
So I don't know if she's going to be funny in this. Doesn't strike me as...
so far, nobody's been funny. Well, Ian McShane's and I guess Matt
But it's funny in like a different way.
Yeah.
Like it's like, haha, this is demented.
It's totally demented.
So I want to talk about the lady who eats people with her vagina.
Okay, yeah, let's go. So she's they don't say it in the show, but she's the goddess of love.
That's their take on love.
Which
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So she lures these guys back to her
house
room, and women. That's right, and women, and she eats them with her vagina.
Because I took some notes from the first two episodes. I didn't take any notes today.
Okay.
So Shadow, he's not a god.
I don't think so.
I think he's the only one who's not a god. Holly wrote that. That's that has nothing to do with it. But in the first episode, Where Did You Sleep Last Night cover, I used it for Music Monday this week.
Yes, great.
It's called
great
In the
song.
Pines. I didn't know it had a different name.
So it wasn't originally done by Nirvana, right?
No.
It was a covered song, but also
it was a folk song.
Kid Cudi covered it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that song. It's a great song.
It was wonderful. And it's by actually the guy who sang lead vocals what the heck is the name of the band? He started in like the late 80s, early 90s in Seattle on the grunge scene. Mark Renzal, his name is.
Oh, okay.
And then he became the lead vocalist for,
Well, that makes sense because for Nirvana to pick up, that's one of their more famous songs.
Yeah, he used to work with Kurt Cobain. Yeah.
That's Kurt Cobain's scene up there. Well, that's the start.
But he became.
That's the start
it was
of the
like a
grunge
very
scene in
popular
America.
band. I'll find it.
Anyway,
and then the third one I wrote was, did the woman's vagina eat that guy? And her name is Bilquis.
Yeah, that's right, Bilquis.
And then Shadow's wife, Death by Dick.
It's tragic.
It is tragic. And then, you already spoke about this, but good Lord, Orlando Jones's monologue to begin episode 2.
I almost totally forgot about that. So it's unbelievable.
And it's just kind of thrown in. Because we haven't seen him yet.
No, we haven't seen
besides
him
that scene.
You haven't seen him in the first episode. He was the beginning of the second episode, and now you haven't seen him. So he's they don't say in the show explicitly, but he's the trickster god.
Okay.
But also he was just speaking a lot of truth.
Yeah.
I mean, his monologue was unbelievable. The most chilling part was like he was talking about he's like even fast forward 200 years and we're still fucked. And he's like, and then fast forward another 100 years, and we're still fucked. And we just got the we just got the right to vote, and we're still fucked. Like we can't get jobs, and it's unbelievable. If you're not interested in watching American Gods, and you're still listening to this, you always just watch that
because
scene.
The scene it almost exists outside of the show.
Orlando Jones travels. He can travel through time and space. Seems like he shows up below deck of a slave ship that looks like they're coming to America.
Yep.
And he basically just like evokes the slaves to burn the ship down because he's telling them, he's like, listen, where you're going, you're not gonna like what happens.
Because to them, they might think that they're going towards it's a better land, it's America,
and basically saying no matter what you do in your lifetime here, it's not gonna matter. Like that's basically what he laid down for him. He's like, you're gonna even if you change the slightest thing, it's not gonna matter in the long run because this happens for another 200 years before anything really gets better. Crazy. It was very very good monologue. And Orlando Jones, man, out of nowhere.
That's what I have him down as the replacements. He was the guy with the stickum on his hands.
Yeah, and he
all of a sudden he's giving this powerful.
Yeah. He was the guy from Evolution. You ever see the movie Evolution with
Yes.
Who's the Dave Duchovny, right? Is it Dave Duchovny?
Yeah, I have seen that movie.
Yeah. It's a wild movie where he kills the aliens with Head and Shoulders. Like the shampoo, that's the premise of the movie. That's how they kill the aliens.
Surprised I never went on to do bigger and better things.
Yeah. So Orlando Jones, good to see him. What was your? I know what you're gonna say, but what was the most shocking thing from this new episode?
Jesus, it was definitely the vivid sex scene between the salesman and the cab driver.
Yeah. So
and then now did he? Is this like a thing that? And I'm trying to think of the right way to identify him. Is he? Was that like a Muslim? Was that a? Because it was definitely of a Middle Eastern descent. So Middle Eastern.
I don't think. Yeah, I think it didn't really matter. I don't think I guess the religion.
Because they kind of bonded about where they were from. They were both from Oman.
Yeah. So the cab driver seemed like he was a god.
Yes, he had the fire in his eyes.
He had the fire in his eyes, and he was saying that the guy in the back seat, the salesman, was like, "Oh, that's an interesting place that you're from. That hasn't been inhabited in 2,000 years. And so you understand that okay, this guy's a god, he's from this place, but he's been around for longer than that. And then they have, they go up to his hotel room and
wonderful sex for them, it seems like.
Yeah, lots of dick.
Lots of dick.
Lots of dick.
Too much dick?
Frontal. It's riding the line of too much dick.
But I feel weird saying that because then, someone could be like, no, I don't feel bad saying it, but someone could be like, oh, it's too much boobs in a movie. I'd be like, too much boobs?
Well, I guess it's the thing. I don't really, I'm not offended by seeing a penis.
I'm not either.
Not offended by seeing a penis. So I don't really care. But it's definitely more penis than we've seen in a lot of shows. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
I don't know.
It's not. It's neither good or bad for me. The thing is it good or bad for the show? Because there's a lot of people who, will get turned off by boobs, dicks.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
It is, but it seemed like when the driver, was having sex with that guy, he almost gave him whether it was either the power, not necessarily the power because he didn't have the flames in his eyes, but definitely the confidence, or did he pass something down?
Something
to him?
had to
because then he looked in the mirror and gave that line, I don't grant wishes.
Yeah.
And so he gave him something.
And then he put on I think he also gave him a job.
Yeah.
He and
Left
also to symbolize symbolically show that he gave him something, he put on his sweater.
Yeah.
Because he put on that sweater, he got in the cab, put on the sunglasses, and now he's a cab driver.
Which is why I didn't I was like, well, it's an effective. I don't know what this character is going to do beyond that, but I thought it was an effective use of.
It's also a very interesting analogy for the American dream. For someone like that to come over here and one thing isn't working for you, you have to have the confidence to go up and now you can become a cab driver. You can become this. You can do this. You have this. It's the land of opportunity. That's the big American cliche. Not cliche, but that's the big American tagline.
Right.
Land of opportunity.
It might not work in the order of A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
You might have to go A to F to Z to whatever.
Yeah,
you got to zig and zag, and I agree. I really like. The acting's amazing.
There's a lot of powerful messages.
There's so much stuff going on, and you know what? But it's very ambitious. It kind of reminds me of Westworld in a way, where they're introducing you.
I gotta watch it.
They're introducing you to so many characters and so many different storylines.
Yeah,
and with Westworld, it's you got to stick with it. You got to stick with it.
Yeah. And
by the end of the season, now I'm this is my favorite show.
Yeah.
And already I'm loving it. And I would rather a show be ambitious than just. Their first 3 episodes, it's oh, here are these 2 characters, and they're gonna go through their day, and it's okay. It's not. It's kind of boring, but it's no, give me everything you got.
Yeah,
give me the cab driver sex scene. Give me the woman eating someone with her vagina. Give me Mr. Wednesday blind in one eye for some reason, robbing a bank with a guy who can create snow.
I love it.
Give me everything. Yeah, so I like it. It's odd, but it's interesting.
There's so many. I love the development of these characters already. And we're so in the infancy. But they're laying the groundwork for the rest of the season. I mean, you got a piece of Orlando Jones. You know he's going to be back into it. We haven't even seen Kristen Chenoweth yet, she's in it.
Yeah.
You haven't seen a lot of characters that are going to be in the show. So, and now the big thing is, like, now that I'm seeing that, like, it's really segmented these first few episodes, I'm really curious to see if or how all this is going to link together as one. Because, it's like, I'm drawing a blank on another show that I can relate it to, but it's going to be like one of those things where we start watching all these characters, their own paths, and then all of a sudden they cross paths. And you're like, oh, that makes total sense that would happen here. And then you're like, oh shit, it's that guy. Like,
it's almost like a TV version of Crash.
Totally like Crash. Yes, totally like Crash. Yeah. So I love it. I can't wait. I wait now. I wait for Better Call Saul. I wait for American Gods now. I can't say enough the marketing for American Gods. It's the whole reason why I saw an Instagram ad. Now I wanted to watch American Gods. So hats off to them.
Absolutely.
What do we want to watch next week for TV Club? I don't think we talked about it.
We didn't. Are you thinking like a newer show like American Gods?
I don't know. We can go back and watch something else. I'll tell you what I've been watching that's really funny. I don't know if we want to use it for TV Club, but I've been watching Archer.
I've never seen it.
It's really funny. It's on
it?
Netflix.
Okay.
That might be worth for us to watch a few episodes and like kind of talk about it.
I could do
John
that.
H. Benjamin is the voice of Archer.
He's the same guy who does Bob's Burgers, right?
Exactly. And Bob's Burgers is a hilarious show. So,
which I love.
I mean, if you want to do that,
it's a watcher.
And I think also if you guys are listening, we'll talk next week. We'll talk more about Saul and we'll talk more about American Gods, because we'll be watching those shows as well.
I'm caught up on Saul,
and then we'll talk about Archer. We'll watch like the first 3 or 4 episodes, and we'll talk like what we like, what we don't like.
I like that. Switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, excellent. But I can't wait for next week's American Gods. I just love all the characters, because then I'm like, they're bouncing. Like, I'm going back to it now, but like they bounce around, and like now I'm invested in all these characters, and I'm like, oh yeah, all right, Mr. Wednesday, and then Mad Sweeney walks in. I'm like, fucking Mad Sweeney, like
he's so good.
I love that guy.
Pablo Schreiber.
And I need Orlando Jones to come back. So, all right, so next week Archer, and we'll talk about the 4th episode of American Gods and the 6th episode of Saul.
I think it's 6. Yeah,
6th episode of Saul. So so that's it for today. Right? And we got anything else we want to talk about? So if you want to call in and leave us a voicemail about American Gods, about Saul, about anything we talked about today, are you going to wear a male romper this summer?
Well, I want to know.
And tell us why.
Yeah.
And where you're going to buy one of these.
See if we got a good excuse. Maybe we'll send one out to somebody.
Yeah, maybe.
If you give us a good enough excuse that you should wear one, we'll send one out.
401-285-8120. Give us a call. Again, that's a voicemail line, so you're not going to get either one of us, even though I know you really want to. Right. Just leave a voicemail, and we'll play it on the next show. So that's it for today, everybody. Thanks for listening. Check us out on AverageNobodies.com, on our YouTube. You can find it all on our website. So go to AverageNobodies.com, and you'll find out how to find us from there. So until next week, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.